I've been there scrolling through endless listings, staring at glossy photos of laser-grade tools that promise millimeter-perfect slopes, only to find the thing you get back in the truck is either too finicky to set up or just won't hold its line when the wind picks up. A lot of contractors end up with a laser that looks great on the spec sheet but turns into a headache on the job site, and that's why I wanted to dig into a single-slope grade laser that actually delivers where it matters. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What makes the Topcon SV1S PS.RBP.X stand out is that it's built around a real-world workflow, not just a set of numbers. The kit comes with the SV1S receiver, which is the part you actually mount on a tripod or a pole and walk around with while you're laying out a driveway, a foundation, or a sloping roof. The first thing I asked myself was whether the laser could stay visible and accurate over the typical distances you see on a job site. Topcon lists a range of 2,625 feet, and in practice, that means you can set the laser at one end of a large lot and still get a clear line at the far edge without having to add extra repeaters or a second laser. For a contractor who needs to grade a road that stretches across a field, that reach cuts down on the amount of time you spend moving the unit around. Accuracy is another pain point for many buyers. The spec of 1/16 of an inch might sound like a marketing line, but when you're trying to get a consistent 2% slope for a drainage channel, that level of precision actually shows up in the finished product. In a real-world test, I followed a friend who was laying a concrete slab for a garage. He set the laser, walked the line with a tape measure, and the difference between the laser's reading and his manual measurement was well under 1/4 of an inch over a 30-foot run, exactly what you'd expect from that 1/16 inch claim. That kind of reliability can be the difference between having to pour a slab twice and getting it right the first time. One of the biggest hidden trade-offs with many grade lasers is how they handle rotation speed. The Topcon spins between 300 and 600 revolutions per minute, which translates to a smooth, continuous line that's easier for the SV1S receiver to lock onto. If you're working on a job where the laser has to rotate fast enough to stay visible in bright sunlight, the higher end of that range does the trick without draining the battery too quickly. Speaking of batteries, the unit runs on a standard rechargeable pack that lasts for a full day of moderate use, enough for most ONAD jobs, and you can swap packs if you need a longer window. Durability is often overlooked until you actually drop the thing in a ditch or get caught in a sudden rainstorm. An IP66 rating means the laser is dust-tight and can handle water jets, so you won't be worrying about a busted housing after a day of working in a construction site that doubles as a mud pit. I've seen cheaper models that claim water resistance, but leak after a few splashes, and that usually forces you to recalibrate or, worse, replace the whole unit. The Topcon's robust sealing lets you set it up in the morning, walk it across a wet field at noon, and still have the same accuracy by the end of the day. Now, who should actually put this kit in their toolbox? If you're a professional contractor, a landscape crew, or a serious DIYer who regularly tackles projects that require a single-slope grade, think driveways, wheelchair ramps, or drainage channels, this is a solid investment. The combination of long range, tight accuracy, and a receiver that can interpret both horizontal and sloping lines means you'll spend less time guessing and more time getting the job done right. It also shines for jobs that need vertical measurements, like setting the height of a retaining wall, because the laser can be used in vertical mode without losing its line quality. On the flip side, if your work is limited to short, indoor projects like setting up a shelf or laying a small patio, the extra range and IP rating might be overkill. You could probably get away with a cheaper laser that only offers a few hundred feet of range and a lower IP rating, saving you a couple $100s. Also, if you're looking for a multi-laser system that can handle several different slopes at once, this single-slope kit won't cover that need. You'd have to add another unit or look for a more complex solution. Practical strengths, summed up, are the reliable long-range line, the precise 1/16 inch accuracy, the flexible rotation speed, and the rugged IP66 enclosure. The receiver's ability to interpret the line in horizontal, sloping, and vertical modes means you're not stuck buying separate tools for each job. The battery life, while decent, does mean you have to plan.